Okay, let's try that again. All right, we are back. Some kind of pitch up freeze there. But yeah, we'll get back into it. Hello, and welcome back to, I don't know, whatever this is. The crisis, you know, on Infinite Earths. Hey K-Pop, how you doing? Hope all's good. Slide back in here. No. We'll continue where we left off. My thing seems dry now. God damn it. What's doing here? There we go. All right. We dry. Hello, Edwin. How you doing? All right. Yeah, always something. Some new adventure on the horizon. You know what I'm saying? Always some magical little thing. So yeah, as I was saying, how is everybody doing? Hopefully everybody's doing good. I'm just here getting this sketch cover going. You know. Seeing how it goes. Hello, Sumo. Did you get to where you need to go, Sumo? Is that is everything okay now? Does everything sound good? You can hear the tumultuous tenor. You know? In here, let's get these teeth. These teeth. Slide right in there. But yeah, you know, here's how I feel about what just happened. Right?
This is an outrage.
That's how I feel about it. I don't know about you. I was not pleased. You know how to. You just roll with it. You just roll. Now I got that. Where's my W-2? I need to file right now, boo. Stuck in my head, you know? Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that at all. You know? Or do they? I kind of think they do. Do 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 do. File right now, boo. Right, the funny thing about some of this stuff is like, say if I was doing this digitally, I probably would have like feathered the eyebrows and then kind of went lighter, you know, with white to kind of go over the top of them. But then this way, I'm gonna fill them in black and then maybe take a jelly roll. We'll see. We'll see how I'm feeling. You know? And see, this is where my like kind of like weird like, hey, I like symmetry and things, and so spend a bunch of time trying to make things symmetrical. You know? But also, like, as you can see, I hope everybody can see that well. I kind of like, I'll do slight upshots on people because people don't do it a lot. You know what I mean? So that you're just kind of looking up just kind of a bit. Is it kind of blurry? Because it looks really clear on my end. You know? You know what I'm saying? Okay, I got that eye. I do want to clean this a little bit. Where's my W2? Man, I wish you wouldn't have played that, because it's fucking stuck in my head right now. But yeah, I bought a ton. I got 30 of those Godzilla vs. Kong sketch covers, and now these guys are all complaining about how I bought them all up. But the thing is I bought 12 of them from a comic shop in the UK, right? And this shop in the UK, it was cheaper for me to get the 12 from this Sad Lemon comic shop in the UK, than it was to get them from the States. Like, with shipping, everything, the shipping was cheaper to get 12 comics from the UK than it was from across the border of a border state. Like, you know, so I'm just kind of like, you guys had all the opportunity to get them. I wasn't taking them from the American pool, if you know what I'm saying. And so, yeah, that's the thing I find funny. Like, I got 30 of them, you know, through my own cunning, you know. In the free market, I spent money and made them appear in my home. That's just me. Yep. That "Where's my W2" is sure is stuck in my head. Unreal. Well, it's not even. I couldn't find any of them in Canada. One of the places actually canceled my order and refunded it, one of the comic shops. Because they were like, yeah, eBay's telling us that we're not allowed to pre-order things anymore, that we have to have them in hand. Happy birthday, awesome one. How you doing? So yeah, so they canceled my order, which was pretty annoying. So I had to try to make up for it. And got the rest of them from the UK, that Sad Lemon shop. And yeah, I'm pretty stoked to get them because, like, I have a whole bunch of ideas. I live in the East Coast of the fabled Canadas. And so, yeah, that's the thing. You know, so yeah, I was like, yeah, I just want to get them because I'm just like, I was thinking of so many different, like, you know, Godzilla, Justice League things, right? Yeah, I can, Shelby. 365, every day that we're still alive, it's your birthday. You know what I'm saying? Get in there, do some, oh, man, I'm trying to keep this camera. You know, rapping on the streets. It's your birthday. You know, that kind of stuff. Holy shit, it is your birthday. I can't get you anything. Shelby. You know, that kind of stuff. Only it's these hot jams. I just roughed in the circle, but I'm gonna leave the little spot for the shine. You know what I'm saying? Hello, Jason Unhinged. How you doing? I see you up in here. I don't. Can you see? Can you see what I'm doing, Jason? Do I need to zoom in further? Do you need to zoom in further? Who can say? No. Holy shit! It is your. See, here's the thing that I hate. I'm just gonna get it out there now. Here's what I hate about paper. All right, this is going to be controversial, but like, you'll just be pulling your line, right? You pull the line, and then the paper just decides that it doesn't like that line that you're pulling, and just because of the differences in the consistency and the mesh of the paper, it'll just pull it. You'll just hit a little rift, and it'll just push it to the other way, and you're just like, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I put the you know what I'm saying in the end there for you, Shelby. But yeah, that's the kind of thing that, like, drives me insane. as a person who's worked digitally for so long, going back to paper, it's like the paper itself is your nemesis, you know. So, yeah, not a fan. Not a fan. I'm gonna pull these cheeks in here. I will say, the Faber-Castells. They do not like this red pencil. You know what I'm saying? They don't like it. Hello, Arik. How you doing? But yeah, they don't. They just seem to like. You take a few strokes to actually get the ink to kind of stick to it. You know, and I'm not that heavy-handed a penciler. You know what I'm saying? Right? Like if I scanned this in, there'd be so many lines I would already fit. You know, but I'm told to just not care. You know? So what's going on, Ark? Haven't seen you around in a while. Good to see you, as always, good sir. I'll pull these in here. A little cheekbone. Yeah. Yeah, and we lost Andy in the freeze up of 2024. Rest in pepperonis, Andy. Holy shit. Hello, Haldir. McFarlane Productions just linked your Spawn cover. Hey, that's cool. Yeah, I'm gonna do the Scorched cover, or the She-Spawn, whatever you want to call it. Just because it's... I'm not gonna have consistent time to work on that for a couple days, and I'm gonna color it. I'm not gonna leave it black and white. I've already laid it out. I've already got her and the motorbike and guns and the whole thing. So yeah, it's happening. It's happening. You know? So yeah, that's not the thing to worry about. I just wouldn't have what I would call the span of time to crank out one of those a week. Not right now. It's just like last weekend I was like at the house and put in a new hot water heater and all this other kind of stuff for the new house we got. And so like there's that, there's work, there's that, there's, you know, trying to fit this stuff in. You know, so I was like, I'll pick one. And I agree, like I really agree with Shelby. Like I was like, because he was saying like he was getting a lot more eyes on him, right? And so if he's picking up followers by doing these Spawn things, you're just reaching a different audience, right? So there's however many people are going to be looking for whatever you're doing, right? And so I was like, oh, that's a great idea. You know, if I do this She-Spawn Scorch character and people see it that normally wouldn't see my work, that's great, right? Like it's one of those things where even if you just get 5 new people to see your work, those are potentially 5 new followers, 5 new customers in the future, right? And so I was just like, yeah, that's a great idea. Like, you know, I will scoop up those people if I can. You know, hopefully they see it and go, hey, that's a cool take on this character. You know, I never thought of that. Like, you know, or I've never seen this before, right? And so that is the idea. That's what we want. That is the pristineness. And I think my style is quite different compared to what a lot of other people are going to be doing in this contest. You're going to see a lot of rough, gritty, you know, splatter and stuff like that. Like, you know, that's what you're going to see, right? And so me with a cleaner style, with a little bit more you know, sharpness of line, and just I think there's more of like a almost like a cartoony realism, like, you know, because I'm really interested in, like, I obviously love 80s cartoons. I obviously loved you know, anime and like thing, but like the funny thing like with anime is that like in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, those styles were far more varied and a lot more realism as well. Here's what's funny about that, K-pop. I briefly thought about doing an homage of Scorched walking to the bike like the Akira poster. I almost did that. Seriously, I straight up almost had Scorched with like the chains whipping around her and walking to the bike, right? Like that Akira movie poster. And then I was like, no, that's been done a billion times, right? Take it easy, actual Dracula. Have a good night, man. And so like I almost did it, but I was like, as soon as I thought of it, I was like, you know who thought of that? Everybody else. Like somebody else put her on a motorbike that way or wanted to. It's got to be out there somewhere, right? And if it's not, there's been a billion Akira poster homages of the person walking towards the bike, right? And so anyway, I was just kind of like, yeah, that'd be funny, that'd be good for a laugh, but I'm not going to do that. And so I got another idea that I'm not gonna spoil here, but let's just say it's far more exciting than that. Far more action oriented than that is. But yeah, it should be fun. And I want to color it too. Like I just like that's the thing. Like it was funny because Shelby was saying earlier that he thinks in color, and I was like, duh, like, you know, like, because like when I'm doing this, right, like when I'm doing this, when I was like sketching these kind of things out, like I think about the color of everything, and I think about like whenever you draw her eyes, like this here whole section here, I think about the light that's hitting that and what color that would be in her eyeliner and stuff like that when I was looking at it. And I'm just like, when I'm doing, and that's why I like to color my own work, because I'll like be sketching it out and laying it, and before I'm done with cleaning up the lines, I'll just slap colors in just to kind of get the feel that I'm going in the right direction. Like I'll just throw like flat colors behind it and then throw the light source in. And I kind of think about things more in that animation kind of cell shady kind of way. And so, you know, that's kind of the thing. And so I want things to kind of look like they're animated, like, you know, like, or they could be, they're a frame of animation. And that's the thing I really want. Oh, I'm pulling this line here poorly. Where when I'm looking at stuff, and that's why I like looking at that those gem books, that Tom Tierney stuff. It's just so clean, like, and it's just so like, it's really interesting because it's almost in a weird way like it's like soap opera shots, you know, where you'll have this like deep inset of a character being like, oh my god, and then what's happening in the background, right? And so there's a really interesting, and then like the next page will be them all sitting around the pool, and it looks like it's a Vogue shot or a like a Teen Beat or some kind of like Sears catalog, you know, setting. You know how they have those kind of like real, like, oh, everybody's standing around laughing and everything's so jovial, and, you know, that kind of stuff. And so I get a kick out of that. Because it's like, you know, he's clearly doing it for a very specific audience, right? And so, you know, and that audience isn't me. You know, it isn't most people. It's like a 12-year-old girl, but a 12-year-old girl isn't, I don't know, they're not looking at it technically, right? They're not appreciating the painting. They're not appreciating all that kind of stuff. I made a little mistake there, and it's popping up. What the? My thing keeps popping out here, and it's kind of annoying. Hold on. Seriously? Hold on. Okay, I'm still actually live here. Alright, that was weird. Alright. My, web browser just kicked out. Like, I'm like, what the hell's going on with my computer today? You know? That's the thing. You're at the beck and call of the computer. It's exciting. But yeah. We'll get her all done. Hello. Hi, Angela. How you doing? See everybody still kicking in here. What's this? Oh, you did one. You traced them as a kid. That's interesting. So you actually had those books as a kid. Like, I know they weren't for me, so, like, I don't recall ever even seeing them. So that's kind of the thing for me. Like, when I did see them, I was like, ooh. I was like, very cool. But yeah, like, that's kind of the interesting thing about that is, like, you're just kind of finding all this stuff that you had no idea about, right? Like, and so you kind of gotta... I don't know. I still like being surprised and seeing this weird stuff, and kind of being like, "Wow, I had no idea like these existed," and then kind of finding out like about Tom Tierney, you know, and kind of his existence was really interesting to me. So I was just like, "Why is this what you would consider like a fairly like, you know, renowned painter at the time, and who was already successful, right? Doing this other paper dolls and movie posters. Like, you know, if you look up some of the stuff he's done, he actually, like, has a really interesting career. So it's like, you're going to pay this dude top dollar to make these gem books, you know? And but also, as I looked into more of those golden books, the Transformers ones, He-Man, stuff like that, the art was really good. Like, I'm just like, they were paying dudes. Like, it was one of those things. They were either paying these guys really well, like, you know, like Gem and He-Man, all that stuff was just printing money, right? So they were likely picking these artists and paying them really well, or they were paying them dog shit and they were lucky to get to work. One of the two. Like, you know, they might have thought like, oh, if I work on this big property, then, you know, it's going to be better for me in the long run. Hello, Jeremy. How you doing tonight? You know, so that's kind of the, I don't know, 5 of one, half a dozen of the other, I guess. So yeah, that's kind of that. Do. Pull that line a little thicker for the lighting. I'm actually kind of surprised at how well these erase. I was very worried about like putting pencil to paper on these sketch covers, right? Because, like, you know, you kind of don't want to fuck them up, and you don't want to you know, damage the stock and all that kind of stuff. You want as clean an image as possible. At least I do. Like, I know other people are just like, it's just a sketch card, or oh, it's just a sketch cover, don't worry about it. And I'm like, okay, how about you don't worry about it? I will. How about that? You know? I don't know. I'm just very concerned about line weight, and mostly because I want my lines thin and clean, and I don't want a lot of cross hatching. I don't want a lot of fiddly lines and stuff like that. And it's just, I don't know. It's just the way I like it. And I don't mind adding some weight to some stuff, but for the most part, I want to keep it as clean as possible. Master illustrators like Earl Norman did a lot of those kinds of books in the 80s. Real art, not the bland Photoshop collages kids get now. Yeah, that was the thing that really surprised me is I picked up 7 of these gem books, and they are just incredible, all painted, super detailed, just really clean. You could tell though that the guy hadn't drawn a lot of vehicles before, because the vehicles were very rudimentary, very background, just kind of hey, this is a helicopter or this is a car, and you could tell that the guy had definitely drawn a lot more people than he'd ever drawn cars or helicopters or anything like that, right? But that's the thing, you really want. I can see in the screen that this eyebrow is a little thin. We'd like them to be somewhat mirrored. Went to school for illustration, but I couldn't figure out perspective or color theory, so you changed majors. Really? The interesting thing. No, so here's the thing. Well, first of all, awesome one. For me, I learned a lot about perspective and understanding how it worked through video games. Even as soon as stuff became 3D and I would move the camera around in a game, that really helped my understanding of placement to bring over to my art, right? I would look at stuff and that would excite me or inspire me to draw something. And so games really pushed my understanding of perspective, right? because if you have a car parked there and you have a person standing beside it, and then you start walking away and towards back and forth, from the car and back and forth again, right? You kind of get the placement of things, right? And so that to me is kind of really what helped me with perspective. And you can look at, there's all kinds of different books that kind of teach you about. You can either go from however many heads high people are to the ceiling, or you can go knee height to the horizon line. Things like that. You kind of assume that everybody's around the same height when you draw a group of people in the room, and then you just vary it a little bit, but then perspective-wise, how many heads to the ceiling it is. Things like that. There's a bunch of different little ways, little tricks around it. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. When I was younger, there was a cartoon block called Robotics, Bigfoot, and Gem, and initially I didn't care about Gem, right? I was in it for Robotics, and Bigfoot was meh. It was okay, but it was a full hour, and they kind of cut the openings and endings, and had very little commercials. It was just this weird hour block of Robotics, Bigfoot, and Gem, right? And so I would watch that, and and just one day I'm watching it, and I'm like, this Eric Raymond dude just backhanded Jerrica Benton. He just get the fuck out of my office, and I was like, what the hell's this shit? And so it was more interesting. Gem became more interesting to me because there were 3 pop songs every episode. there was like some kind of drama, and the Misfits would almost, like, they literally tried to kill Jem and the Holograms every episode. They'd cut their brakes, they would try to run them off the road, you know, they would like drop gargoyles on them, like when they were shooting videos in France, like trying to kill them. Like literally, if they succeeded, they would have killed or maimed Jem and the Holograms for life, right? And so that's the kind of thing where you're just kind of like, wow, there's wild stakes in these two bands. And then also, like, Jerrica was Jem so that she could support Starlight House, right? Like, and so there was all these stakes where she had to support all these orphan girls. And there was even episodes about, like, you know, one of the girls needing like eye surgery, or she was going to go blind and stuff like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? So there was a lot going on. And so as I would watch Robotics, Bigfoot, and Jem, I got more into the soap opera-esque, you know, tale of the week that would be Jem, or sometimes a few episodes would connect, and it got crazy, right? Like, and so yeah, it was just one of those things that when I was a kid, I watched it and I was just kind of like, yeah, this show's wild, and you know, and I enjoyed the pop music. It was like this super 80s, super sharp, like 1.5 to 2 minute pop songs, and then sometimes their songs would cross over, and they were always these like insanely sharp, like tight musical pieces, right? And so, and they were better than, like, they're better than anything that's on the radio or around today. Like, do you know what I mean? Like it was actually decently like arranged music, like, you know, and the singers were good, and you know, and so yeah, it's one of those things where it's really hard to look at what kids are seeing today and be like, you guys are better off than we were. You guys are better off than we were, you know? But that's the thing. Like, I feel the same way about like Jem as I do about Transformers and G.I. Joe and all that stuff, because it was all around that same time. Like, I didn't have any Jem anything. Right? Like, I didn't have any toys or anything like that. I had Transformers, I had G.I. Joe, Mask, you know, all that kind of stuff, right? But it wasn't until I got older, and then, like, they started putting the Jem stuff out on CD box sets and stuff like that, right? Like Rhino and, who's the other one? There's Rhino was putting out Transformers and all this other kind of stuff, right? And so the Jem stuff started coming out, and I was like, oh shit, I remember that when I was a kid. Like, you know, that stuff was awesome. And then that got me even more back into it because I was doing illustration and design work and stuff like that at the time. And so a lot of that stuff, you know, really, really influenced my art style, right? Like, because I was just like, this stuff is so clean, it's so crisp, and it gets the thing that you're trying to put out there in a really smooth and sharp way, right? And because a lot of that stuff was like He-Man and all that stuff, like a lot of that stuff was just a dude running down a hall. Yeah, Shout Factory as well. But no, like it was Rhino Home Video. They did the first ones, the Transformers, like when they had those big silver box sets. You know, I still have the Rhino ones, the original Rhino Transformers and stuff. Yeah, Shout Factory might have done the newest ones. I feel like they picked up a lot of Rhino Videos stuff when they shut down. You know. But yeah, Jem stuff is great. Like, it's like, it's honestly one of those things like you know, like I'm putting this out into the ether, but like it's one of those things I'm surprised, like, you know, when all those singing contest shows and all that stuff. Hello, Caroline. When all those singing and contest shows like American Idol and all that stuff were out, I was like, why isn't there a Jem show? Why isn't there an hour or half hour long Jem show that has 3 or 4 songs? Each episode, you get either indie bands or whatever to do the songs that pertain to the episode, and then you sell them on iTunes. It's like an incredible business model, and I don't understand why no one's doing anything like that. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, there was clearly a pocket in time where a Jem cartoon with weekly songs, 2 or 3 songs, each thing going up on iTunes, would have made money, right? Like, I think where we are now, that might be a different ask, I guess, but just because the way people interact with music and stuff is so different now, you know, because you can just listen to people's albums on YouTube or whatever, right? And so, yeah, the silver box sets around. Oh, yeah, you know what I'm saying, Eric. You know what's up. Hello, Phil. How you doing? Philip Andrew, Dolph Lumet Rescuer, and Murder of Narwhal. We talked a lot about Gem and the Holograms. We talked a lot about this whiskey I'm drinking. We talked about Shelby and Andy's inability to buy things in a free market. And then blame me for having a surplus of things that they were unable to buy. Right? That kind of stuff. You know. But yeah, that's just me. I'm just a guy out here trying to get his Gem and the Holograms on, I guess. You know? But yeah, that's really the cool thing. Yeah, we did talk about line weight and ink not sticking to pencil. It is one of those things where, and it's true. Like, you know, I don't know. As I've been returning to traditional art, and you know, picking up different pens and doing stuff. Like I picked up like a whole bunch. Where they at? I picked up a ton of different kinds of pens. You know, microns. I picked up a whole, just you name it. Like, you know, just trying to figure out like what I like. You know, like what feels good. You know, because like there definitely is a like. I wouldn't even call it a learning curve. It's just like a tool preference, right? Like you pick up a pen and you're just kind of like, I don't care for that, right? Exactly. But yeah, like that's the thing. Like, you know, you get these pens and you're just kind of like, I don't like that. I don't like the line it pulls. I feel like I'm, you know, not satisfied. And then you try something else. And so I picked up a bunch of the dip pens, like, you know, the Hunt 102s, the G pens, all that stuff. I've yet to actually sit down and muck about with those. But, you know, we'll get there. Hello, Kenneth SSSS. How you doing? Good day, sir. You picked up a pen from the Walmart parking lot. Thought about me. See? I like that. I like that a lot. You know? But I'll just say this, KSS. I hate you, and I hate the bands you like. You know what I'm saying? You know? That's all there is to it. He loves it. See? I knew he would. I knew he would be... It's apparently his favorite insult. You know? Let's see. We pop over here. And I just like...
This is an outrage.
You know? That's all we got. That's all we can do. That's all we can do. This is an outrage. All right. Yeah, happy birthday, KSS. You know, I know it's your birthday. They might not know it's your birthday. Let's see here. See how the ink goes on top of the printed Maleficent logo. Yeah, Andy wanted me to stream. Now he's gone. We've lost him. Who knows if we'll ever get them back? We might. We might. Yep. Here's the thing that drives me crazy. So, like, I have a really good computer, right? And I use it all the time. And then you go to stream once, and then it just locks up, and you're like, seriously? Like, I even restarted it. Like, that's what's criminal about this whole endeavor. You know? Well, yeah, it's a nice, cool 67 degrees here now. I had to laugh at Shelby, being like, I had to scrape frost off of my car the other day. Oh no. And I'm just like, dude, it was like minus 17 here with the wind chill the other day. Freezing rain, you know. Your car was a sheet of ice, the road was a sheet of ice. This guy's like, I had to turn the heat on, you know? And I'm just like, you guys kidding me? Like, what are you doing? You're balmy. You're like, you had a light frost, you know? Yeah, exactly. They have weather in Canada, you know? All right. You know? Yeah, I live in a subaquatic base under the ocean called Deep Sea 9. Atlantis. Deep Sea Atlantis 9. I'm drinking a Japanese whiskey. It's very good. I'll have you know. But yeah. I got these Maleficent covers. Got a handful of those. Got some Betty Page ones. Got a bunch of Power Rangers. You know, the deal. If you've seen the other streams where I was showing them off, you know what's up. You know what we're doing. We're doing 52 weeks of sketch cover madness. Thanks, Shelby. Thanks, Shelby, for the idea. I'm gonna be the Bancroft to Shelby. I'm just gonna steal all his ideas and then do them over here. What's this, Sumo? What? Yeah, someone did say Shelby. The thing, well, the Godzilla covers, I have a bunch of ideas for those Godzilla covers. You know, some cool stuff, like, you know, some classic kind of spoofs on some of the Kong Godzilla stuff, and so that's going to be fun. I like the idea of that. You know, and I joked with Shelby the other day that I was going to sneak a Gamera on one of those covers and see if anybody notices, you know. And then I got one of these I got to do for Sumo. Little Red Sonja. And I already kind of sketched that out separately. Just trying to kind of decide how big or how little, like, oh, I don't know if you would have seen this one, Phil. This is if I have time, I'm going to do this one after. You know? I already sketched it out and slid it back in. Little Betty Page, you know. But yeah, we'll get them done. We got a bunch of stuff to do. We'll get out there. But yeah, you know. But yeah, everything takes longer on stream. That's just how it is. Just the way of the world, I guess. Yeah, I should draw myself as a Godzilla paper dolls would be pretty tight. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, if you just could, like, get, like, a flip book of decently drawn images of Godzilla and their little paper dolls, you could sit in there and you could put Hawaiian shorts on Godzilla, you'd do it. You'd put Hawaiian shorts on Godzilla in a heartbeat. Let's not pretend. Thanks, Phil. I appreciate it. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, that's how it is. Let's go. Yep. We'll get in there. We'll get in there. I could be using these to do my turns, but it feels like it's like, you know, way more fiddly. You know, I'm just gonna slowly pull these lines down. Kind of clean them out as I rub across them. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, please remember to hit that like. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, do a brother a solid and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Helps the channel, you know. And anything that helps the channel is a good thing. You know? And this is a zero drama channel. I'm not interested in your drama. I don't care about your drama. I don't care about your mom or her drama. You know? That's a good fucking whiskey. I'll tell you that for free. I'm using a 0.3 here. I feel like I could be going bigger, so I wouldn't have to be as careful, but, you know, I'm not too worried about it. Because that's kind of the good thing, is you can just kind of slide in there and hit it. Just like the DMs. Your mom's suing Eric July? Wow. Is your mom's name Isom? Is your mom's name Isom? You know? Because that's pretty cool. The International School of Mommery? Is that it? Or is it Mammaries? The International School of Mammaries? You know how it is. Oh, her great grandfather was named Eric. I get it. Hey, Buddha Bear, how you doing? I was just saying that this was a Sans drama channel. You know. It's just boring. Like, to me, the drama stuff is boring because it's a lot of grown ass men acting like high school children, high school girls, to be quite honest, right? And so that kind of shit gets old fast, right? I don't have time for it. I don't care. You know, I got other shit to do. Yeah, like, I'm telling you, like, you want to talk about Gem and the holograms all day? Cool. You know, that's at least interesting, right? No, Noah's not getting the link. Fuck Noah. You know what I'm saying? Fuck that kid. No, I like Noah. He's good. But no, that's the thing. Like, you know, you wanna have weird drama. You know, I don't know. Think about all the time that drama could be better spent making something. Right? Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, think about hey, you're causing all this drama, or you're getting involved in this drama, or you're faux offended about whatever it is, and you could have made something. You could have did a page that day. You could have did a cover. You could have, you know, whatever it was. You could have done anything else. Your time could be so much better spent than just sitting around, you know, being upset or getting involved in any of it. Like, I don't know. I've been around this thing since like Ethan was like a quiet talker buying art supplies, right? Like, I've been watching that kind of stuff before 20. Like, I seen that kind of shit coming into comics in like 2015, 2016, even before that. Like, you know, and so, yeah, like Ethan was like, hey guys, we're just going to the comic book shop. I'm going to show you guys the best pens and paper supplies that you could buy, and that'd be really. I hope you'll come with me. Thanks. Like, he went from, you know, like I would told if they move that is my stapler. Like, you know, that he went from like all that, like, you know, being like super like, you know, kind of like reserved and talking to, you know, to being what he is now. And it's just, it's the same dude. It's just, he's at 11, right? Like, he's just kind of, he plays up his actual personality, and he just kind of goes for it. And that's fine. Like, I actually like Ethan. And I think, like, you know, I don't envy his spot either. That's the kind of thing. Like, you know, with his position is a lot of bullshit, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, people expect a lot of him, and, you know, whichever way you want to look at it, but it's not like he doesn't play the game, right? Like, you know, so it's just, it is what it is, you know? You know? Do 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 do. But yeah, you know, because you just see all this crazy shit, and I'm just like, man, all right. Like, I find it hard to like just care about some of the shit people are getting way too bent out of shape about. You know, and I'm just like, okay, you think someone implied like, hey, that's a nice business you got there. It'd be terrible if something happened to it. It's like, none of these people can actually fuck with your shit. Right? Like, as soon as you understand that, like, you know, like, a lot of, like, okay, here's the best way to put it. A lot of people go on these bigger channels and sell nothing. So if you're not selling anything on the bigger channel, what is the difference? Right? Like, it's not helping you any. Because you haven't built, like, it's that kind of thing. Like, you can be the best fucking artist in the world, but if nobody knows about you or cares about you, it doesn't fucking matter. Not in the slightest, right? You have to build up that base of people who actually care about what you do, who like your characters, and will actually give your book a shot. And until you do that, none of it fucking matters. It's that fucking simple, you know? And so you have so many people. Listen, I mean, here's the thing. You have to have a business, Jim, for any kind of gaslighting to hurt their business. The only kind of people who it's actually affecting are top people who are at the top of the pyramid, and all the little people who are down there who haven't built their platform or don't have a base of people yet. They're hoping to get some shine. They're hoping to get some crumbs, right? And I think the reason why so many people get butthurt when they go on a bigger channel stream and don't suddenly, you know, get 10,000 followers or don't get their campaign funded is because they were just on there. They'd likely sucked telling people about their book. No one cared. They didn't have any charisma. It's not conflating the issues because, like, they're all the same issue. Like, if you think that, I don't know, let's just say, I don't know, I'm trying to think about somebody who's actually went on one of these channels, seen themselves boost through the roof. Like, look at like Eric Weathers. Eric Weathers has a great looking book. He's on his, third big book right now. And he can go on that channel all he wants, and it doesn't fucking matter. His sales don't go up. He works with Ripa. His books aren't selling through the roof. So tell me somebody who's in a better fucking position than Eric Weathers and who's getting hurt by it, right? Like, he's not even getting helped by it. He's just there, right? So it doesn't even make sense. So you have all these little guys who think they're fighting for scraps, and they just haven't earned anything yet, right? Like, now here's the thing. Here's the thing. I think Malin is, you know, like I've seen people say, like, John Malin isn't sitting in his Malin cave with his hands together like this, going, what can I do to destroy these fellow creators? Because I'm going to tell you something, Jim. The reality for all these guys is that if new people do not come up and help fill the pyramid... No, this isn't drama. This isn't drama, Ark. I'm just talking business. If new people don't come up to fill the other spots in the pyramid, the thing fails, right? They need other people to succeed. It can't just be Ethan, John, and Shane. It can't. It won't survive. You know? I'm just saying, just from a pure business model, just from no drama, nothing. They need little guys to come up. You know? Oh, I'm sorry. Here you go. Hold on. Hold on. I'll go into community moderation here. You guys and your derailing. All right, hold on. Uh-oh. It's showing me a whole bunch of people. All right, we're not going to do that right now. Oh, here we go. God damn. I don't even know how to add you. All right. We'll worry about that later. Hold on. Start a poll. Should women be mods? There you go. There's a poll in the chat. You guys can figure out if women should be mods. You know? That's just it. All right. No, Corey. Listen, Corey, I've got something here for you. Right? We've got this beautiful, lovely. Right? No, Corey, no, brother. I love boobs. Boobs are great. You know, we got 52 weeks, Corey, of sketch covers. You know, I'm getting week 1 and 2 out of the way. You know. Yeah, the poll. It's 56% to no, and 44% to yes. Ladies, look, we gave you we gave you the vote, and you're not voting. This is what I'm saying here, right? Like, we fought a war so you guys could vote. You know, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, you know, that's That's where we are right now, right? Well, see here we go. Betty Page doesn't really have big boobs, right? Like I can't draw Betty Page with like giant milk tanks, right? Like I can't have her storming Normandy with like tanks, right? So she had to be somewhat realistic for the actual Betty Page. Do you know what I'm saying? That's all. I'm not out here trying to, draw Milk Tank Teacher or anything. That's all. Man, hold on. Let me see what we're doing here. How do I... Do. Oh, wait, no. Add as moderator. Standard mod. Corey. Corey Barton is now a standard moderator. Yep. Listen, some people chose to groom in other ways. But yeah, so we'll wait here and see how the poll goes. But some people really went in there. Damn, do you want to run this place, Corey? What the hell happened to you? I didn't realize you had a lust for power. That was beyond the pale. But yeah, that's the fun. That's the fun, kids. Yeah, man. It's all good. I do find that, like, the longer it takes me to draw something traditionally, the less I care about it. I'm just kind of like, yeah, all right, still doing this. Like, I know, it's funny, it's the funny thing about, like, a lot of art is that, like, like, the idea is exciting, and then everything in between is drudgery / busy work until the vision is complete, right? Like, you're just like, oh, okay, I got this great idea. And then you're like, okay, now I got to make this idea happen. And then in between, you're like, all right, I'm over this idea. Oh, they can. Listen. Oh, look at it. Went. Oh, okay. We're going to end this poll. All right. It barely scraped by. Like, this is a failing grade. 53% is a failing grade. But you know what I'm saying? Like, that's where we're, we've got to extend the olive branch and, bring a hand up. A rising tide lifts all boats. You know what they say? Grab an oar. Grab 2 oars, or you're going to go in a circle. All right. We're doing it. We're in here. Yeah. Do. But Corey, you posted this you posted that page. I think it looks like I think it's like a double page spread, right? And it has this giant robot and all these like guys around this explosion in the background. And I looked at that and went, my God, that would be such a nightmare to color. I was like, this picture looks great. And there's a ton going on in it, Corey. But then I was like, damn, someone's got to color that. As beautiful and detailed as it was, it's like, oh, someone's got to color that. My God. Why? Do. But yeah, the excitement, the adventure because that's the thing. Like, you gotta, like, Corey's doing a lot of his own coloring. Oh yeah, that's the thing. Like, I looked at that and thought about how long it would take me to color it. Right? Like, that's the thing, right? Like, you're basically like, I look at that and go, oh, that would take me however long, like, and that's kind of the beauty of doing your own stuff, right? Like, you don't have to think about a timeline. You don't have to think like, oh, there's a deadline for this, because it's your own. You're just like, hey, I'm gonna get this done, and it's gonna look great. But yeah, I'm really excited to see the book, Corey. It looks like it's going to be good. Just with the little bits here and there that you've been showing. Well, that's the funny thing too. Like, when I look at color palettes and stuff like that, like, I often want to do certain colors and go certain ways, but then I find it would get boring. Right? Like, you have to, like, most of the stuff, like, that I post, like, on Twitter or Instagram or whatever, is me experimenting with stuff. Like, you're not seeing the actual work that I'm doing, right? Like, and then on occasion, like, when I do some work for some people around here, I'm just like, hey, this gives me a chance to do X, Y, and Z that I'm not currently thinking about, but I'll try this when I do it. And they'll either say, hey, that's pretty cool, or, I was thinking more like this. And I go, all right. Yeah, so there's fun things, like, and that's the thing, you do stuff, and then, like, it's like 6 months to a year before it shows up on someone's campaign or whatever. And so I'm just kind of like, yeah, just kind of letting it all happen, and working silently and quietly on my stuff in the background. Hello, Amanda. How you doing? Slip these in here. I'll probably hit these with some white, just to make them pop from the logo. But yeah, it's been an interesting week, and it's not even over yet. It's like Wednesday. My name's not going to change to Jim. Settle down. As much as you would like it to. I mean, this is the premier gem channel, on the internet. Right? Because if there's a better gem channel than this one, I'm almost tempted to do readings of those books and do episode reviews of that show, just because it would be funny. That little nip tip right in there. But yeah. Anything exciting going on that I'm unaware of? Anybody reading anything cool? Exactly. Listen, I don't know if I'm an expert, but I definitely enjoy the source material. Like, here's the thing, like, and I'm not even slightly joking when I say this. If I could get the license, if it was a number that was not insane, I would make gem books tomorrow. Like, Just saying that. Just like I would 100% make a gem comic. No joke. Not even like slightly haha funny. You just said a funny, good sir. I'm deadly serious. Yeah, that's true. That's true, Ark. I could make something spiritually gem. That is a good thought there. Because I thought about, what's funny. Well, like, how well, here's the thing. Like, some people do like those Star Wars comics and they just don't have any dialogue in them and they do whatever and they, sell them at conventions but give them away with other things, so to speak. They're like, you're really buying this, but you're technically not paying for that. You're getting that for free, quote unquote. So yeah, that would be interesting. It'd be something like to think about for sure. Like, just because, like, that's the thing. There aren't books like that. And when IDW had the Gem comics, they were garbage. Like, I actually went and looked at them, and I was like, wow. Like, I couldn't believe how trash the art was, and I couldn't believe, like, just how terrible the writing and stuff was. I was just like, wow. Like, because here's the thing, like, even you're aiming these comics at, teen girls or whatever, right? Like, just say ostensibly that is your market. These were garbage for even that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. When we were kids, the media wasn't dumbed down for us. Like, it wasn't like you weren't reading War and Peace or watching War and Peace unfold, but it wasn't stupid, right? Like, there was actually stakes, there was actually things happening, and, Transformers died. G.I. Joe, like the first, in the G.I. Joe movie, the original cut of that, Duke died. And then in the further things that they went, oh, Duke went into a coma, right? And so, because it destroyed a lot of kids, they were like, oh my god, Duke's dead. And, then they changed it. And they're like, oh no, he went into a coma, Oh, thanks, Corey. Yeah, I kind of, like, that's the thing, I kind of take pride in drawing beautiful women and drawing, like, good faces and making sure that they're symmetrical and that their eyes look good and that whole bit, right? Like, I definitely like a good looking lady. And I just think media, like, and that's kind of the frustrating thing about, like, what's going on in comics and stuff right now. Like, Wonder Woman, Batman, Superman, Green Lantern, those characters are all supposed to be aspirational. They're like gods, right? And Batman is the David, a bunch of Goliaths, right? And so he's basically stands toe to toe with gods on a daily basis, right? He walks among them practically. And so then you have, like, all these other characters in, like, Spider-Man or whoever. They're all supposed to be aspirational. They're all supposed to be peak fitness. They're all supposed to be, like, great. You don't care about them drinking coffee. You don't care about them, that they're mentally ill. You don't care that they're gay. You don't care that they're whatever. It's like they can be, but they don't, like, that's not who they are. Like, that's my problem with this, like, younger generation, is that their sexual preference is their personality. And it's just like, that's boring. Like, I don't wake up every day and put on a proud to be straight shirt. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't wander around going, yep, straight pride. Like, it's just like, it's not who you are. It's like, okay, sure. But yeah, I don't know. It's a baffling thing with this generation for sure. Where you're just like, I don't get it. Like, you're a human. You're not sexual organs. It's a bizarre thing. Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it. And don't know if I ever will. Do-do-do-do. Well, I mean, and I think that's kind of a big part of the problem that we're in right now, Corey, is that like, we're seeing like, like look at the Saints Row reboot. We're seeing this like kind of like vaguely ethnic girl with the side of her head shaved, and not that specifically there's anything wrong with that, but that specifically has now become a stereotype to denote what you now should expect from that stereotype that they have created, right? And so for me, that's kind of like you see that stuff and it's like, just like, all right, I'm out. I know what this is. Thanks, but no thanks. Well, no, it isn't though. Like, I don't think gender is offensive specifically. I think that like it being your personality is offensive, just in the fact that like most people aren't that. They're just Doug or Dave or Karen or Sally or whoever, and you just don't think specifically about that. That's not their entire, their entire thing. Like, I'm not worried if someone thinks X, Y, or Z. I'm just like, hey, what's going on, guys? How you doing? I don't need you to know my pronouns. I don't need you to respect them. I think it's just another thing to, like, everything is so good that people need those things to have something to be upset about, right? Like, where everything is just so good. And so a lot of people are just making problems up as they go along, That kind of thing. There's a couple lines I'm not a fan of, but I'll have to fix, but... And I'm thinking about doing some brush inking. Like, I've seen some people say, like, it's cleaner. Like, as far as, like, stylistically, like, you just kind of pull that line. But at the same time, you have a little less control. So you kind of have to go with it a bit more with the brush inking. Yeah. We'll try all kinds of different things. See where it takes us, Well, if you know anything about Saints Row, as a game, there was like a garage, series of garages that you go and take your car to, and they were called rim jobs. It's a play on words, a double entendre, if you will. And in the new game, so that they wouldn't offend anyone, they called it Jim Robs. They just removed, they just switched around the thing. And I was like, as soon as they did that, I knew that game was dead. Like, I was just like, if the game was built on crude and ridiculous humor, right? And, like they had a Wendy's equivalent in the game, and it was called Freckle Bitches. And so once you start making things by committee and making everything, rounding off all the edges and making everything so smooth that it offends no one, it also appeals to no one, right? Like, you're putting out this stuff, and like, if there's nothing exciting about it or interesting or something that wouldn't even slightly offend someone, it's just boring. Like, making things for everyone appeals to no one. Yeah, Corey, do it. But yeah, like, I don't know. That's kind of the thing that's interesting about it. But, less interesting in the long run. I'm gonna have to grab my Copics. We can get going here. I'd click the link, but my computer's been weird since I started the stream, so I'm just gonna leave it. You know? There's a couple of things I'm going to tighten up here, but for the most part, it's getting to where it needs to go. I'm also curious how these Copics are going to react with this red pencil. You know? All kinds of good things or bad things could happen. Well, see, here, that's the thing, though, right, Billy? Right? There was a time, we're probably around the same age, when we were young, you know, and you seen the girl with the dyed hair and the leather jacket and the Doc Martens and the plaid skirt. And she was different, right? She was crazy. She was into all kinds of different music. She was a little wild. And it was a signifier that they stood out, right? And now, when you see that outlook, like that side shave to the head, the short hair, the dyed colored hair, they're either old women or they're, you know, for lack of a better word, it's danger hair. You know, the most brightly colored snake is the most poisonous, typically. You know. And so to me, it's just become danger hair, you know? And so, like, that's the thing. Like, you know, there was a time when there was those girls and you were like, wow. But now it's like, you know, women who are like 50 and 60 have purple hair at the mall. And you know, so it's just like, all right. You know, different generations wearing the skin of an old generation, and it doesn't mean the same thing anymore. Yeah, because it's like, that's the thing. Like, if you were to sit down and design a character, like a female character,